How are you doing? Today I want to talk about meritocracy and discrimination in accompanying it. So recently I read a book titled Best and Brightest, written by David Halbertson, who is a Pulitzer Prize winner, an American journalist known for his work on Vietnam War. And the best and brightest means like excellent people and excellent elites. The best and brightest indicates in this book like the ministers and secretary assistants to the president that promoted military intervention to Vietnam in the background of the American national security policy and Kennedy administration and Johnson administration in the United States in 1960s. So simply speaking, when Kennedy became the president of the United States, he tried to sign not a governor, not a former governor, or not a son of a governor, but extremely excellent people, extremely excellent elite with great ability in a certain field to a bureaucracy in his administration. So he established one big project to lead this country to glory with excellent elites with great abilities. But there was one big shortcoming in the belief of the best and brightest, which is like people looked as best and brightest, didn't really accept their mistakes, and they covered for their mistakes and concealed their mistakes to each other, and they ended up driving this country to promote the military intervention to Vietnam after all. So personally, I can't judge if it's correct or not about the way of thinking that the most excellent people should be assumed the top positions in the organization. So I feel really skeptical about the way of thinking that a person should be elected in an important position judging from not his connection but only his ability. So if you choose an excellent person for a top position in an organization, the community that this kind of person belongs to becomes more like administration than politics, where it's pretty easy to generate corruption inside. So because administrative organizations are more likely to despise nation's benefit and rather prioritize their benefits in order to protect their concessions rights and interests preferentially. So bureaucrats think that they manage government administration with the feeling that ignored masses don't even understand how they manage their policy measures, and they don't want to be made a fool of by people's unreasonable demands. So after all, they make a close community and focus more on doing the best for their benefits without considering nation's benefits. So you see administrative organizations in Japan fall into extreme conservativeness that drives them to protect any concessions, rights, and interests they have. So the thoughts of best and brightest is partially wrong in a sense of whether a reader is chosen simply from an excellent person with a great ability. So because we have more or less, sense of conservativeness that makes us want to protect people who belong to the same community with us. So we have a sense of value that we would rather prioritize ethics and morals inside our community than laws. So you wouldn't betray your friends and pitch on your friends who belong to your community to teacher, even if your friends violated school rules, because you want to protect your friends from teacher. So this theory can be also applied to bureaucracy organizations. The bureaucrats want to take good care of their teammate mutually, and naturally thoughts of conservatism comes out of their mind without realizing it. So originally, the person who can devote himself to public interest, even if betraying the community as a result, should be elected as a reader, no matter whether he is excellent or not. So this is a territory of personality. The thought of meritocracy that expands the gap between rich and poor is a product of conservativeness and egoism that strengthen the extreme sense of belonging. So current so current social structure is built based on this kind of thoughts. So people who win success want to conclude their success is a product of hard work, and they discriminate and despise those who can't put effort into an objective single-mindedly without thinking that effort is individual gifted ability. So people who believe in meritocracy deprives people who belong to mass community of their confidence. So they don't realize they have discriminative elements of meritocracy, even though they superficially take the opposite position against general discrimination like sexual discrimination and racial discrimination and LGBT or something like that. So because meritocracy society makes existence of a class society invisible from their views. So thoughts of meritocracy will make a closed community where it's isolated from mass community, and this situation will make people lose consciousness of public interest. So personally, assigning a person who is not excellent but give importance to public interest to a top reader will contribute to fill the gap between the rich and the poor, rather than a person who is excellent but has strong sense of belongings.